Hello everybody, this is Joel Solomon of PRS and the Roadmap, talking today about the referrals and how to really build your business by understanding that it's actually one giant cycle. So to get to where you really want to get to, the key to that kingdom, or what I call the road to Oz, is the ability to obtain never less than 10 high-quality referrals from every client that you work with. Now, whenever you are starting to work for a client, you have your original interview. Invariably, it's going to get down to how do you get paid. And what I always like to do, and based on your unique practice, it may be any one or all of the following things that I'm going to share with you now. So you would say, look, I get paid consulting fees or assets under management, flat fee for services, whatever it is that you may or may not charge under number one. And Mr. Client, from a financial product perspective, I'd like you to understand that I represent you, not the financial institutions. If you have a need, I'll recommend the appropriate financial product. Then I'll search the marketplace for the top 2 financial products to meet that need, and I'm going to explain the differences, both quantitatively and qualitatively, as to why one product versus another. And if you purchase that financial product, the financial institution, of course, pays a commission to me. But the most important way I get paid is called your active goodwill. Now, after I complete my work, if it has been phenomenal and most valuable, what I call PV, then we'll sit down and talk about those people who respect you professionally and personally, who would benefit from the work that I do and that I would enjoy working with. But only when we're done with our work and you believe the work was phenomenal and most valuable. Is that fair enough? Now, in the event that the client pushes back on this, you basically would want to say, look, what is your best friend's first name? And he says Bob. Let's just suppose that Bob had an incredible experience working with somebody on any level in any occupation. I know you would agree that you would want Bob to recommend that person to you. Never be afraid to recommend anything to a close relationship where you believe the experience you had was phenomenal and most valuable. Because if you don't experience that, then I wouldn't want you to refer me to anybody. So, sound fair enough? And you go back and you get his agreement. Now, if you have a current client and you want to build your business, I recommend you schedule a meeting with the client, chit-chat with him, have lunch with him, etc., ask him how his business is doing, his golf game, so on and so forth. And then you say, Bob, I don't know if you realize this, but I spend 99% of my time working on my client's behalf and only 1% looking for new clients. I'd like to grow my business over the next few years, and I really need your help. The key is having an opportunity on a favorable basis of meeting professionals like you who would benefit from the services I provide, my experience and integrity in representing my clients. So with that in mind, who are some business owners and other professionals who respect you professionally and personally that you believe might potentially benefit from meeting me and who I would enjoy working with? Now, the end of the day, once you get this going, you want to show your client when you're done with your work, or a current client where you're going to tell him the 99.1% story, you want to show him an example of what your clients typically do for you. So they put together an email, an introductory email recommending you. For example, Mr. Client, here's one that a client of mine wrote, just a short note to introduce Joel Solomon, who did some terrific financial work for me. He showed me exactly where I stood on the path to a secure future and how to receive more tax-free retirement income than I would have received otherwise. So no matter who you use for your financial advice, including tax professionals, brokers, wealth managers, insurance professionals, and attorneys, I can't more highly recommend you're spending an hour with Joel. I only hope you benefit as much as I have. Show this to the client. Say, most clients like this, but feel free to modify it And when we're going to talk about the people that you're going to send it to, obviously you want to CC me. So now let's talk about your unique business plan and the value of referrals. We need to understand that your business is a circle. It is a cycle. The beginning of this is when you have people to talk to. So in order to really grow your business, you've got to identify your 20 best current clients or close relationships. You're going to use a telephone script to schedule the appointment with them to talk about all of the various roadmap opportunities. We anticipate that 80% of your current clients or more will accept an appointment using the telephone script to meet with them, right? So that would be out of 20, that would give you 16 new appointments. You're going to use the markets PowerPoint. Again, this is all playing up on the web on the roadmap website. You're going to have your roadmap calculator up and running, but between the markets, the approach talk, and using the web-based calculator, you've got all the tools you need to disturb somebody. So when you now have this approach talk in front of this client, or 16 of them, we would expect that 12 of them will want you to put together some form of a roadmap. Could be IUL to pay taxes on qualified plan distributions. Could be IUL to meet the retirement shortfall. Maybe it's 1/2 of what you waste, or it's somebody with a lot of money and it's IUL to versus other investments, or it's taking the tax savings from their 401k contributions and putting that into IUL, and other opportunities that are part of the roadmap. So starting with 20, getting at least 16 of those 20 to meet with you using the telephone script. Of those 16, 12 people are going to want to move forward and have you put something together. So at that point, you've obtained their goals, you start constructing the case using any and all of the roadmap solutions, some of the things that I just talked about. So you're going to make 12 presentations to these 12 people who agreed to work with you. No matter what, 1 out of 3 will result in a sale. It's probably 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4. But let's just assume a minimum of 1 out of 3. And this is what you'd be doing every week. And therefore, you'd make 4 sales in a month. Later on, you're going to deliver the policy or the portfolio, and then you're going to have a separate referral session using the 99-1% story, that referral script. Mr. Client, I spend 99% of my time working on my client's behalf, and only, et cetera, et cetera. So if you've made 4 sales and you're having 4 referral sessions, you need to know that no matter what, you need to obtain never less than 10 high-quality referrals from those extremely satisfied clients. So now at that point, you're now here with 40 people to talk to. If you stop this cycle, where it would basically stop at 9 o'clock, and don't have this separate referral session, if you don't get these written referral notes, your business will eventually go into a death spiral because you won't have enough high qualified people who want to meet with you on a favorable basis referred by existing clients. So it's mission critical that you understand that this referral session is more important than anything. And in order to be prepared for it, you need to go to your client's LinkedIn site, what if he has an office or some type of a standalone structure for his business, what businesses are near him, who are his favorite, who are the people that are his competitors, who does he sell to, who does he buy from. You have to really think about the right questions to ask. Now, we separate producers because they're going to have unique goals in the 3 categories. But let's start off with what we would call a platinum producer. This is a producer who says, I get it, I believe in the roadmap system, there's so many tools that I have, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make phone calls each week I'm going to try 5 of the 20 people on that list. I expect to set 4 appointments, and when I meet with them, I expect that 3 out of those 4 people, I'm going to put together some type of a roadmap solution, and no matter what, close 1 case per week. So if you did this over the 4 weeks, you've called your 20 prospects, you've met with 16 of them, you've worked with 12, and no matter what, 4 have actually bought product. This should generate, between all of the sales opportunities, somewhere around $60,000 of target premium. There's no reason why it wouldn't. Now, what we did was we basically created a 16-week timeline for you. So if you started off in week 1 and you had those 20 people and you then called 5, what would happen is you would schedule 4 appointments for the next week. But remember, you're starting the same cycle again, right? You're going to still make 5 new calls. You're going to set 4 new appointments that are going to happen the following week. And what this is really doing is just tracking all the way down, including gathering referrals, as you can see here. What you really see is somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks, you'll see the first paid productivity actually take place. So again, you'll also notice that your number of prospects, which are referrals, your business base is building as you get more and more referrals. Basically, what's going to happen once you get to week 8, you're never going to run out of a qualified prospect ever to talk to again. But will you follow the thing that you can control that would take you to Oz? And the thing that you can control is identifying these 20 people, using the telephone script, and then calling 5 of them a week and scheduling those 4 appointments. If you did this, basically, what would happen is your business pipeline goes crazy, and no matter kind of what we do, you're going to generate somewhere around $600,000 of target premium. And you say to yourself, I can't believe that I would be able to do that. You will do it, but only if you control each week the thing that you control, that is the number of people to call and making those calls. If you manage your results, you know that your plan is that you've got to have 4 meetings. Well, did you have the 4 meetings? And when you had the 4 meetings, did 3 of those 4 people agree to work with you? And each week, did you make your presentation? And did you close 1 sale? And what was the average value per case? So your business will grow quite beautifully. Our best producers literally find out that they've got cases that will fall into the $7,500 target per case range. So when they're selling a case a week or 4 a month, that's 48 cases for the year, a third of them are just larger cases. There may be IUL versus an alternative, or it's a type of client that has a large retirement income goal. Anyway, the bottom line is it's not unusual for a producer to generate about $750,000. But kind of no matter what you do, you're going to end up with 2 sold cases a month and somewhere in that $360,000 category. Heck, somebody that fails with us and only ends up closing 1 client with 1/2 of what you waste, or IUL to pay taxes on qualified plan distributions, take the tax savings from 401k plan and put it in IUL versus an alternative. Any one of these things would generally create about $180,000 of total target premium. Pretty good investment on your licensing fee. So everybody, this is Joel Solomon for PRS in the Roadmap. We're pleased to have you as a Roadmap partner. This is all part of our ongoing training, and I encourage you that on a monthly basis, come back and review this entire presentation on the cycle of your business obtaining referrals. I wish you a good day.